This is JFK at Love Field on November 22nd, 1963. He's just saying goodbye to everybody before getting in the limousine to depart for the trademark. This is William Greer, the limousine driver. There are a few other Secret Service guys around him. So let's just watch a bit of that.
Kennedy, right along behind him. President still moving over towards some phone booths that were set up for the press. The people surging up toward that fence. But there is a fence, and the president waves goodbye, waits for his wife, and back they go to the car. Governor Conley standing in the car beaming. Governor Conley with a big 10-gallon hat on. Kennedy stepping in the car first. The president. They both in the back seat now. Now the motorcade will very shortly start to move out. Sheriff Bill Decker, Dallas County Sheriff.
So the commentator, and this is from WFAA, a subsidiary of ABC. He just referred to Bill Decker, who was in the lead car with Jesse Curry, I think, Winston Lawson, and Forrest Sorrells.
Driving his own car, personally escorting it with the chief of police, the presidential car moving out. The president and first lady. Big, beautiful Lincoln, followed by a carload of press.
So you can see the one Secret Service guy on the left side just dropped out of shot. There's this guy here, and they looked set to stand on the back of the limousine as it made its way towards Dealey Plaza. You can see the handrails here. That's to help the Secret Service guys stay steady. And then suddenly you see Emory Roberts, this guy here. So he was the guy in charge. He tells those two guys to get off. If you look at previous motorcades, it was the case that there weren't any guys on the back, but you have to remember Dallas was a high-risk place to visit. Jesse Curry had assured everybody that security would be top-notch. But yet here we have Emory Roberts telling the two guys to get off. Apparently also the Secret Service detail for Lyndon Johnson had told the motorcycle escorts also not to cycle alongside the limousine. So theoretically, you should have had the two Secret Service guys standing on the back to cover shots from the rear, and also the motorcyclists on either side in the eventuality of something happening from the side. But Emory Roberts here from the follow-up cars telling the two guys to get off, which exposed JFK to a shot from the back, two shots from the back. And then, as I said, the motorcycle escorts were not where they should have been at the side, exposing JFK to shots from either side. Can't remember his name. Was it Rybka? I'll have to look that one up. Rybka. There seems to be a bit of confusion over who he is. Anyway, he's certainly Secret Service, and he's obviously exasperated about being told to get off. It obviously wasn't what he'd been led to believe was going to happen. So he ends up staying at Love Field.
Secret Service men, the car behind. Then comes the Vice President and Mrs. Johnson, Senator Yarborough. Now people over in this area.
Let's just go back and have a look at that again.
Lincoln, followed by a carload of press. Secret Service men, the car behind. Then comes the Vice President and Mrs. Johnson, Senator Yarborough. Now people over in this area are getting a chance to see the president. That motorcade of 20.
Okay, so the limousine's on its way into downtown Dallas, and next we're going to have a look at the follow-up car with the Secret Service guys in. So just let me get rid of this. This is Dallas Times Herald picture, I think it is. Newspaper no longer in existence, but one of their photographers took this picture on Main Street. It's 2 blocks away from Dealey Plaza at Market, Main and Market. So here you can see the back of the presidential limousine. Then you have the follow-up car with the Secret Service guys in it. This is Clint Hill here. I think this is George Hickey. Is this Paul Landis? I'm not sure who this guy is. And this is Emory Roberts. So this is the guy I was referring to at Love Field, who we saw telling the 2 Secret Service guys not to stand on the back of the limousine. In another visual, I may have said that somebody that was sitting in behind the driver was Emory Roberts, but I may have made a mistake, so I'll have to look into that. So anyway, so here you can see Emory Roberts doing nothing significant by the looks of it. And then if we go on to the next picture, so this is a famous Altgens 6 picture. This picture is famous for a few different things, some of which we've already discussed. But what I want to concentrate on in this visual is the follow-up car. So again, we have the presidential limousine. If you look through the windscreen or windshield, it looks to me like that's JFK's arm. This picture looks a little bit weird to me, but we're not going to worry about that for the moment. But it looks like he's already been hit. He's got his arm across his chest. And nobody seems aware of it. But if you look at the follow-up car, so again we're going to look at Emory Roberts, and like a lot of other pictures, again we have an unfortunate blemish just where you don't want it to be. So there seems to be some black shadow covering the right lower side of his face. I've seen other versions of this picture, and it looks like he's holding a device and speaking into it. And it's reported that he told these Secret Service guys, when they did realize that JFK had been hit, not to try and help him, which seems bizarre, bearing in mind he'd already told the two guys not to stand on the rear of the car from Love Field, which might have prevented the shots from the rear. Firstly, that the Warren Commission say had been fired from up here, the Texas School Book Depository, although, as we've discussed in our Tubecast, we don't believe that to be the case, and probably more likely to have come from, for example, this area here, below this guy, from this open window. Possibly some other areas further to the right. We've looked at the two vehicles, then the county court buildings. But if the two guys had been stood on the back, then if a shot from here did hit JFK, the two guys on the back had been there, then I suggest the shots wouldn't have hit him from the rear. And even from up here, I don't think they would have hit him either. So if he was speaking into a device, and as I said, I've seen other pictures where it looks more like a device that he's holding in his hand, there is no transcript of what he was saying, so none of the transcripts can account for this moment where he is possibly holding something and speaking into it. Emory Roberts would go on to become appointment secretary for Lyndon Johnson, who was sitting in the car behind. Also, Lady Bird Johnson described him as the only Secret Service agent that became a LBJ agent. All the others had been JFK agents.